what the Terran player can do here. Starting to the bottom right with a 1-0 lead for Samsung Khan.
Samsung Khan Reality.
Great game in the last series that we saw there. An excellent multitasking from the Terran player. And this definitely set the pace for this best of 3. And the Zerg to the top left for LGIM, he knows that he might be in trouble.
LGIM KangHo.
Formerly known as Lucira. You could see on his facial expression just then he's trying to calm himself down. It's one of those puffy faces you make before you let out a sigh. You're trying to calm down your breathing. Definitely a lot of adrenaline going through him here. Reality just insane macro last game. And also, he's dropping 4 locations at once. He has a drop at every base. So of course, the 4th base was more of a run-by than a drop. And then he also has a few Marines and Widow Mines at the front of the creep, scanning, killing tumors, just non-stop multitasking.
Yeah, it's not only like just managing those drops. What really is something that really comes through here is him being able to at the same time go for the things that we had seen in his main base. Never missing a beat on the upgrades. Making sure that he has his LCV production up when the Zerg player takes down a few workers. Getting the additional structures out in time. Just managing everything at once. It seems like against a player that is known to be so fast, KangHo, that Reality is even better with this, and that was a very impressive performance that we saw in Game 1. If he can play the same style in Game number 2, then KangHo has a very steep mountain to climb here.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. KangHo here getting another very fast drone scout in the main, going to continue to annoy Reality while also seeing the gas timing. So he sees the gas being added here, he knows that it's not a double barracks follow-up. And this is really good for KangHo to know because as a Zerg player you know now, okay, faster Hellions, not going to be a delayed Hellion, and probably going to have a slightly later command center than if he had not taken the gases.
And I want to know what Reality opens up with, because let's face it, those drops that he had in game number 1, they were really bad. Like, they didn't do anything, and that was not necessarily Reality's fault. This was just like, the Hellbats alone, they are not that strong anymore. You can distract your opponent a little bit, and you will force him to pull the drones, but still, you do not do a lot of damage, and KangHo dealt with that really well. That should have given him a bit of a lead, but as it turns out, Reality took the series anyways. I would just be surprised to see the same Hellbat drops again, considering what happened in game number 1.
That drone's still alive here. Was just targeted by Reality as shown on screen. But okay, so Reality does Marine to it. We'll chase it out and kill it. There's the factory going down. Drone finally bites the dust, and we'll see what KangHo's next move is going to be here. Totally gasless still. Probably just going to take a 3rd base. It's a lot harder to scout with your overlords on this map because they take a lot longer to get there, but he's still on his way over.
Yeah, for me, there are 2 things that I'm curious about. The opening for Reality, once that he hits his starport, what is he going to do in terms of dropping? And I want to know what KangHo is trying to pull off now that he's taken this 3rd base. Are we going to see a bit more of a timing, or will he try to play just late game Ling Mutarbane Ling style once again, and just trying to outclass his opponent here? Especially after game number 1, that would be a bit of a ballsy choice, but I would feel that he is going for the tech a lot faster, and we already see the extra gas. But we also see the armory again, so apparently either Reality didn't get the memo, or he is very convinced that he can do a lot of damage with those guys.
Yeah, last game he killed a lot of Lings, which KangHo likes his Ling style, so it cost him a lot of larva. But it's funny because even though he, most people would argue got behind after his Hellbats did very little damage, his transition was so beautiful that it didn't matter at the end of the day. But I don't know, we'll see how much damage he can get done. Like I said last game, even though it's unlikely he does a lot, he might get lucky. All it takes is a late drone pull while you're trying to micro something else in the middle of the map to cost you a lot of drones. Also, for example, the Hellions.
But that shouldn't happen anymore. With the old Hellbats, that was definitely a concern because it took just a second or 2 hits, and suddenly all those drones are gone. But now, with the changed Hellions without the Hellbats without the Blue Flame upgrade, you have some time. You actually have a couple of seconds that you can use to pull your Harvester back to safety. So I'm really interested to see how KangHo is going to deal with this time, because last time those queens, like, they shut down the drop right away. The drop that came to the third, that was a little bit more problematic, but even the Hellions didn't do too much.
Yeah, the Hellions here, those 4 Hellions, they're kind of the backup. Once the drops go into the main base, the Hellions are going to run in here to the third, try to catch those drones that are on retreat.
The double evolution chamber that comes into the game now is not only for the upgrades later on, but KangHo wants to narrow the entrance to his natural and main base with those, so that he can use the queens for the block.
Only 1 Hellbat in this drop, by the way, and he's going to send the other 2 Hellions inside, interestingly enough.
Yeah, with the Hellions, I like the Hellion drop actually a little bit more. But let's see, he's going into the main, or will soon, and the Overlord should spot this. Yep, already knows what's going on. And units probably headed for the main base in just a second.
They're already in there now. But he can kill all these lings really fast with these.
Yeah, he should be able to do that, yep, certainly right. Nice position here for the job, but the Hellions run away. They didn't expect that Hellions would also be in the mix.
Yeah, a little bit odd. KangHo actually going to lose one of his queens potentially here.
Yeah, no transfuse, but the queen gets away. Now the Hellbat is gone, and those Hellions should not survive very much longer. The queen is dead. But so are the rest of the Hellions. Well, actually,
it was cost efficient if you look at the resources lost for both players in that drop exchange, but the resources lost doesn't tell you enough. The tech and the gas spent on getting that armory out and getting the Hellbats out. Oh, this is actually a mistake by KangHo. Ooh, that was a lot of wasted larva there. All
of the Zerglings, every single one of them, and that Hellion still alive now, finally being taken out by the queen, but only 4 Harvesters killed. So Reality still has a 20 supply lead after this, and I don't know how he does it.
Well, you know,
the Zerglings played, of course, a role here. That's something that we didn't see. And
again here,
the follow-up push, that's what we talked about in game number 1.
This is much more what we expected to see in game 1 after that attack, and I think that Reality, seeing all those given away lings, he's just taken his push here, and he's going to go, well, I think I have a window.
Wolf, he's going to hit before the 1-1 is done.
There's barely anything out for KangHo to defend. He's got more than double his supply. There are no banelings. He's morphing the first 3 now. Now starts 8 more.
Uh-oh, that could do a lot of damage here.
Scan goes down, eliminating the creep as well. In reality, he just needs to make sure he splits. The banelings are not ready. Does he go in for him? He does.
Yeah, he should move in, and that's exactly what he does. Yeah, takes down already a lot of those, but here comes the split banelings against Marauders. Never what you want to do.
The Marauders doing so much for him here. He does get a few good baneling shots off, but will it be enough? Reality taking a supply lead here, but KangHo stabilizing a little bit. It's all about this next wave of banelings. How good are the splits going to be?
The splits are really good. The SCVs are not taken out. They can't repair anymore. Not the medivacs, not themselves as a buffer, but the drones are also coming off the mineral line, and he pulls off. But the bank is good for Reality, and those banelings that went down, they cost a lot of gas.
Yeah, and he's making more because he knows that this attack is not quite over yet. There's a few more Hellbats coming in. Only 10 banelings on the production this time, and they're not quite ready yet again.
Here we go. The creep is already being forced back, and that's one of the things that Reality is able to achieve here. He can always just lift and move back. That's exactly what he does here. He's still the one who is in the supply lead. He has his 3rd command center now done and going to upgrade that to an orbital soon. The 1-1 really helping KangHo in the 2nd engagement, and this is the disadvantage that Reality now has. He just completed his own engineering base, and it will take some time for him to catch up in upgrades.
This is pure Marauder Hellbat right now, coming out, of course, the transition back at home, as you can see on the production tab, but during this whole attack, had that constantly going for him, but KangHo with the upgrade lead here, I think he's stabilized enough to where Reality is not going to be able to get too much done. And these Hellbats, I don't know where they're going.
Yeah, he's just trying I think he's just trying to pressure him a little bit. But as already mentioned before, with the upgrade lead, KangHo should be fine here. And now he completed Lair, so he could go into 2-2, but he wants to take this army out, and the banelings move in.
The banelings move in, he doesn't want to hit them against those Marauders, and he doesn't want to have the Lings fight those Hellbats, not without the baneling support.
Really nice micro that we have here from Reality, always picking up and not losing too much while dropping into the main base. 10 workers killed in total against 5 SCVs lost.
Worker count 66 to 62 in Reality's favor, and Reality takes that lead, gets that 3rd base up, something that KangHo does spot and actually could pressure with those Burrowed Zerglings. Oh, he can't even land it.
Yeah, there is a Burrowed Zergling already, so really utilizing this upgrade. And we do not have +2/+2 for KangHo just yet, so that really gives Reality the time to go into his own 1-1 upgrades and then maybe get the lead. But that's a problem.
Yeah, huge problem. Running into the main base here, there's nothing here, nothing at all, only SCVs, and the one thing the SCVs are going to do is die or run.
Those medivacs, they might be the saving grace of the economy. That was actually not as bad as I expected it to be, but still, it's not over yet. There are so many burrowed units.
Yeah. This one Baneling not going to finish here.
Here come the scan, the burrowed Zerglings. Well, another few hits at the natural, but how many will he actually take out so far? He killed 18 harvesters.
These Banelings being spotted is really important. Reality takes a supply lead here, and I think he has, yeah, of course he has the armory because he got the Hellbats earlier.
KangHo's getting a 4th now, but he still didn't start +2/+2. He started it, but we don't have any added tech. SCV is unburrowing and doing a lot of damage.
This is a huge waste. Does not get barely anything with that. Trading so many Banelings.
But
this is a different story.
Yeah, those bad boys are doing a lot of damage. 27 killed by now. And suddenly this KangHo is able to equalize the supply and also has this bank that he can use later on for his added tech.
Yeah.
So job well done by KangHo. These run-by is really the thing that keeps him in the series.
KangHo, the only reason why you can do this is because his injects are so good. He's one of the best injectors in the entire world. He just has constant production. Not only does he have all of this, but he's got his drone count up to 72, which puts him 11 harvesters up over his opponent. Yes, there are mules, but KangHo just doing as much damage, as much aggression as he can when he gets that 4th base security. He is going into Spire this time.
Yeah, the Spire is late, but it is there, and he is not as pressured as he was in the first game. We have that supply lead for Reality, but keep the bank in mind, because this is something that KangHo will use once the Spire is completed. The +2/+2 is a little bit faster for KangHo, but Reality used the chance that he had to catch up in upgrades just a tiny little bit, so the window of opportunity for the LGM Zerg play is not as huge as it usually was. And
he needs to re-wall that main base. This is a big problem. It's something that KangHo knows as well. He knows there's a hole there, and he keeps using it.
Yeah, he's trying to take down that that turret so that he can burrow the Zerglings again. And there it is, trying to bait out another scan, or at least force a turret, and the missile turret is being built.
Yeah. And also, this is going to help him out against the Spire later too, because the Mutas don't want that turret to be there.
And talking about the Spire is done, so now he can use that bank that he has and get 10 or 11 Mutalisks.
Yeah, decent hits here against his Zerglings. Reality taking a massive supply lead here. KangHo is trading a lot for these run-bys, and it's starting to become a question of whether or not it's worth it anymore. He really arguably overcommitted last game with some of his run-bys towards the mid-game. And he just needs to be careful. He doesn't use too much gas on these Banelings trying to do things like this.
He has a 4-base economy now, though, and KangHo can really try to make this happen with all the Zerglings that he's building. We have 124 army supply, though, for Reality. And here comes KangHo with 96, once again moving in with a few Lings at the natural, trying to take down the SCVs and first of all the Marine.
So many SCVs going down here for Reality, which actually makes his army supply bigger and bigger by the second. Every SCV he loses. He really needs to deal with these Zerglings. There's only 2 of them, and one of them is damaged. This should never do that much damage. These Widow Mines are exposed.
Nice, the Banelings take down all of the Widow Mines. That was so worth it here. KangHo takes the lead in supply just for a short amount of time, but here comes the rest of the Zerg moving in with those Speedlings. The Mutalisks are there too, finally trying to shut down the Medivacs.
Yep, really nicely done here by both players. Reality pulling away. Now he doesn't really have anywhere left to run. He is off creep, but there's way too much Zerg. The surround is good, and KangHo, he's got the Mutas, he can't use the Medivacs to lift.
The Banelings in a really good spot here, and without the Medivacs to lift, it's really becoming an issue for the Terran players, dropping down to 115 supply, dropping again at the 3rd base here, but the Zerg is just not done yet. He's walking towards the bottom right, trying to get into his opponent's natural. Now so many Widowmine hits, but another drop also in the main base.
Yeah, KangHo needs to deal with these drops. These Banelings are rolling into the mineral line here at the 3rd. Nice pullback by the SVs at the last second. The Marines are also targeting well.
But they can't run forever. A few Marauders are trying to save them here, and they will actually pull it off. Banelings all going down without accomplishing anything here.
The drops in the main base are really what Reality has going for him. He's stabilized a little bit here. This game is actually a lot closer than the supplies really indicate, but he has a very hurt economy.
Yeah. The economy for him is in shambles at this point. He needs to get more SCVs back, and he's also like really struggling to get a 4th base up. This is something that's gonna definitely pull him down later on. Keep in mind, he only has 2 Medivacs left. He can't really heal a lot. He's trying to get the Medivac numbers up once more. But KangHo is just now going for more and more units, and with another wave, he could finish this game if he dodges those Widow Mines again.
And KangHo can be very happy that he has 15 Mutas out here, because there's nowhere to run for those Bioforces now. The Medivac count very low. And he even has another Burrowed Zergling here, going to further delay this 4th base. Really needs to try to turtle and hope for the best here, and maybe even stop production cycles for a few seconds to get his 3-3. In fact, he has enough resources to get 3-3 now. I feel like this is a huge mistake that he's not.
Again, the run by. This is the one thing that wins KangHo this series, or might take the game at least. He killed 57 harvesters over the duration of this game in the last 20 minutes, and he moves into the national again. Reality is starting to fall a little bit apart here.
Yeah, KangHo is keeping him on the last leg every single time, on the back foot here. I really feel like this is kind of the reverse of what we saw in game number 1. This time KangHo is calling all the shots, doing all the run-bys, all the multitasking, all the macro. He's never missing his injects. I mean, you said that before, but he is so good at injects.
I still feel that Reality had a really good chance of winning this game. For him, the issue just became dealing with those run-bys into the main and the natural. If he would wall properly, especially the small run towards his main base, he could have done so much more here. Because there were a couple of points in the game where KangHo was really in trouble. But the game isn't over just yet. The 4th base is now here, and we have the planetary completed. So it's a 4-base economy against 4 bases, and Reality can still win this. He's not out of the game yet.
He needs 3-3 upgrades. If he could just wait for a moment and get those. There is the +3 attack, and in a few seconds we'll see him get +3. You can see he's not making any Marines or Marauders right now, so he's waiting for that. As soon as he gets the armor upgrade out, then he can contest Lucira's army again. But until that time, it's really difficult, especially with this Mutalisk flock that is up to 30 Mutalisks right now.
And they have the +1 armor upgrade, now adding the attack ability too, so they can fight armies, not armies like this, but smaller armies they can actually engage if he wants to.
Nice Widowmine shot there on the Mutas, making them a little bit more scared about engaging for a while.
Yeah, but that's when the regeneration kicks in, and you can really watch them go back to full health.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch, actually. You can see at the bottom right there.
Well, not for the Terran player, I can tell you that much.
Still no armor for Reality. He's really just focusing on the attack upgrade right now, trying to remax. The Mutalisk flock going into the main base. There's not a whole lot to defend here. Widowmine's trying to get in. Of course, they're going to need a boost into the main somehow. One-shotting
the missile turret here. The transition, by the way, happening for KangHo now. Oh, 3 medivacs. Awesome.
He's just A-clicked into the main base. His medivacs come right in. And now he's just targeting the reactors, ignoring those 2 Marines. He doesn't care about them. He has the Carapace upgrade.
This is becoming not only a big issue, this could be the deciding point in the game.
Yeah.
He loses way too much, like his production is completely shattered.
Losing a reactor is like losing a barracks.
And he lost 3 of them. So his production is going to be awful for the next few minutes, up to the point where he finally rebuilds those. And that is becoming a huge problem. More bases now being taken by KangHo. Supplies are still, I want to say, fairly even. The 30 supply difference at nearly 2 maxed out, that's not too much. But KangHo, tier 3 tech, +1 attack nearly completed. That 3-3 is something that Reality desperately needs, and that might be what helps him. But things are looking grim.
He also had a very late 5th base. With all the pressure he had on, he could have taken it earlier. He definitely had the money to do so. And Reality was stable on 4 bases, so that's what's allowing him to max over and over again. Now he feels comfortable enough at 176 supply and nearly +3 to remake those reactors, so that's something he's doing right now back at home as well. The Mutalisks are just a huge problem for him. This planetary could be targeted. Oh no, but the Widowmines!
They're boiling in these SCVs, but not getting them just yet. You know, the Mutalisks at the right side were 80 Harvesters killed in this game. Wow. The Mutalisks at the right side, actually, they were in a little bit of trouble. I don't think he lost them, but there were 4 Widowmines. If he moves for a second a little bit too far to the left, those Widowmines get triggered and he loses everything.
Yeah, he lost a few hit points on maybe 4 or 5 of those Mutas, but like you said, very careful there. Some tumors being taken out through the center. Reality, with that defense at the planetary, finally has some more momentum in this game.
He has 3-3 now. Or at least
he has the attack.
The 3rd attack upgrade, so not armor yet, but he's going for it. The +2 armor upgrade coming up for KangHo's air units. But the supply is once again even, and even though KangHo has that 5th, it was so late that he did not build up this bank that he would like to have. He has Hive now as well. I'm still waiting for, +3 armor, there it is, but I'm still waiting for Adrenal Glands in particular.
Yeah. This medevac is totally shut down. KangHo sending every single one of his 31 Mutalisks to chase it, but this gives Reality an opportunity to move forward and kill more creep. There's a 6 base ready to be taken for KangHo. Will he get the surround? Good splits here on the Widowmines. There's just too many of them.
He took down most of them though, and those were decent Banelings. Taking down the Widowmines is important in this scenario. Here come those splits, the Banelings moving in once again, and here comes the rest, and immediately those splits. Reality is doing what he can, defending against this army. He's dropping in supply, but the Mutalisks, they move in right now and they take down the rest of the Marauders and also try to chase down those medivacs.
There's no more Marines here, so Reality has to go back. He drops down 40 supply. He did not have the armor in that engagement. And now he's just trying to remax. He's adding a few more barracks. He desperately needs a little bit more time here.
That flank!
The flank here. He's trying to catch those units with the mutas.
He can go for the
planetary is dead
now, and that's exactly where he goes. He goes to the planetary, and he dodges most of the Widow Mines so far. Can he move in and take it out? It's gonna be
he should be able
possible.
to. He should be able to get it, or at least kill all the SCVs here.
Yeah, it takes on a fair amount. I think soon he's gonna hit 100 SCVs killed in this game.
Yeah.
It's not gonna take any, much longer. 3-3 is now done for Reality, but keep in mind that KangHo is getting the same set of upgrades, and his armor upgrade for the Mutalist will be done in just a few seconds, and then his fog is even more important than it already is.
Oh my god, Keller, that was so close with what those mutas almost flew into. Reality just really far down on supply here. The mutas, there's so many of them. He just kind of trades like this. He has 24 in that pack.
And he's getting +2 attack now too. He's 50 supply up. Worker supply is 74 against 37. This is the only reason why Reality can still fight this, because his army supply is just so much bigger.
Yep. Moving back here, a good split. The Widow Mines are all burrowed and ready. How many of the shots are going to go off? The Muta's being very careful here.
Yeah, Mutal is now engaging. There are a few Widow Mines that are being triggered by them, but in the end, the Terran player loses too much.
GG.
There it is. KangHo comes back into the series.
KangHo's experience really showing through here, and his injects are incredible. Yeah. He has constant streams of lings. He's very, very controlling over the map with his Mulus. Good creep spread. Reality definitely the defender in this game.
Reality, what lost him the game were the run-bys by Lucira. Lucira forced him into this defensive position, sending Zerglings into the natural and main base constantly throughout the game. And Reality this time really struggled defending against them.
Yeah. Well, Aklon Waste is a final map, and I cannot imagine a more epic map for the deciding game of this best-of-3.
And first of all, this is a map where I could see Lucira go for an early pull. He likes to do that. And
True.
It could be something that he considers for this map in particular.
Reality looking a little bit, I almost want to say despondent here. He's just kind of looking at the screen, trying to accept the fact that when it came to late game against Lucira on a very big map, he struggled a lot. And he was probably hoping to take a 2-0, especially with that convincing lead in game 1.
But again, I don't think it's really a late game problem. I think mid-game with those Zergling run-bys was the issue. If he has that wall at the ramp, then suddenly it's a very different story.
True.
Because keep in mind how many SCVs did KangHo kill over the course of the game. I think it was like
95,
90 at the end. So if you kill this many Harvesters, of course you're gonna fall. Your opponent's gonna fall behind. So I would really like Reality to just try to pay a little bit more attention to the minimap and shut those Zerglings out. If he does that, he's in a very good spot to take it against KangHo in game number 3. But KangHo might play a completely different game here. Now we are going into our last map now of this best-of-3. Aklon Waste is the map. Zerg versus Terran, KangHo versus Reality. Here we go at the WCS Challenger League with Colombo.
You gotta get